Meets and bounds practice questions. Question 1. A seller asks about a use right benefiting a person or organization rather than another parcel. Which answer provides the legally accurate concept? Option A, taxation. Option B, easement in gross. Option C, mechanics lien. Option D, lease pendens. The correct answer is option B, easement in gross. No dominant parcel is required because the benefit is personal or commercial. The interest may be transferable depending on its nature and governing law. Utility companies frequently hold this type of right for lines and equipment. Question 2. Malik encounters a legal description referencing a recorded subdivision plat during a settlement preparation. Which principle should guide the analysis? Option A, a tenancy by the entirety. Option B, joint tenancy. Option C, lot and block system. Option D, cooperative ownership. The correct answer is option C, lot and block system. The parcel is identified by lot number, block designation, subdivision name, and recording information. The recorded map provides the dimensions and relationship of the parcel to surrounding lots and streets. This method is common in plat urban and suburban developments. Question 3. Which choice best matches the description individual ownership of a unit combined with an undivided interest in common elements in the contract revision described? Option A, fixture. Option B, tenancy at will. Option C, meets and bounds. Option D, condominium ownership. The correct answer is option D, condominium ownership. Association documents govern maintenance, assessments, and use restrictions. The unit owner receives title to a defined space and shares ownership of common areas. Financing and transfer generally involve the individual unit rather than shares in a corporation. Stressed about your real estate? We can take real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee A-Pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. During review of a rental home in Hagerstown, the parties discuss a possessory arrangement with no fixed ending date that may be terminated by either party. Which term applies? Option A, a tenancy at will. Option B, a trade fixture. Option C, lot and block system. Option D, riparian rights. The correct answer is option A, tenancy at will. The arrangement continues only while both landlord and tenant consent. It lacks the definite expiration found in a term tenancy. Applicable law or the agreement determines the notice needed to end possession. Question 5. An exam scenario presents a use right that benefits one parcel and burdens another parcel. Which answer is most accurate? Option A, a certificate of occupancy. Option B, easement appurtenant. Option C, mechanics lien. Option D, general lien. The correct answer is option B, easement appurtenant. It is tied to parcel ownership rather than to a particular individual. The benefited and burdened parcels are commonly described as dominant and servient estates. The right ordinarily transfers with the land even when it is not mentioned in every later deed. Question 6. A licensee preparing for offer review must recognize government power to acquire private property for public use with just compensation. Which concept does this describe? Option A, non-conforming use. Option B, escheat. Option C, eminent domain. Option D, taking. The correct answer is option C, eminent domain. The owner is entitled to fair compensation determined under applicable procedures. Condemnation is the process used to exercise this power. The government may compel a transfer when the taking serves a legally recognized public purpose. Question 7. Which answer correctly classifies a situation involving ownership of shares in a corporation coupled with a proprietary lease to occupy a unit? Option A, lot and block system. Option B, section. Option C, tenancy by the entirety. Option D, cooperative ownership. The correct answer is option D, cooperative ownership. Transfers and financing may require approval under the cooperative documents. Occupancy rights come from a lease connected to the shareholder status. The resident owns an interest in the entity that owns the entire building. Question 8. At a pre-listing meeting in Lansing, Wendy explains transfer of property to the state when an owner dies without a valid will and without legal heirs. Which real estate principle is involved? Option A, escheat. Option B, taxation. Option C, a zoning ordinance. Option D, easement by prescription. The correct answer is option A, escheat. The doctrine prevents property from remaining permanently ownerless. It applies only after the succession process finds no person entitled to inherit. It is different from a tax foreclosure or a voluntary conveyance. Are you looking for real estate actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access real estate study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get real estate answer key today. Question 9. A transaction file for a townhouse raises an issue involving possession by a tenant who remains after a lawful lease has ended without the landlord's consent. Which answer best resolves the classification? Option A, severalty ownership. Option B, tenancy at sufferance. Option C, point of beginning. Option D, personal property. The correct answer is option B, tenancy at sufferance. This status is different from trespass at the beginning because the original possession was valid. The occupant entered legally but stays beyond the authorized period. The landlord may pursue lawful eviction or accept rent and create a new tenancy. Question 10. Which concept should an appraiser apply to facts involving standards governing construction quality, materials, occupancy, and safety? Option A, general lien. Option B, mechanics lien. Option C, building code. Option D, eminent domain. The correct answer is option C, building code. These rules protect occupants and the public by establishing minimum construction requirements. Zoning controls location and use, while construction codes focus on how structures are built and occupied. Permits and inspections help enforce compliance during building and renovation. Question 11. Owen is studying a rule concerning title held by one person or one legal entity. Which term should be chosen? Option A, a tenancy by the entirety. Option B, township. Option C, a subsurface rights. Option D, severalty ownership. The correct answer is option D, severalty ownership. The term describes the title arrangement rather than the physical number of people involved in the entity. The owner holds the complete ownership interest without concurrent co-owners. A corporation or limited liability company can hold title in this form even though it has multiple stakeholders. Question 12. When an office building transaction involves an ownership interest measured by the lifetime of a named person, which answer identifies the controlling concept? Option A, life estate. Option B, section. Option C, severalty ownership. Option D, periodic tenancy. The correct answer is option A, life estate. The interest ends automatically at death and then passes to the future interest holder. The life tenant must avoid waste that harms the property for later owners. The holder may possess and use the property while the measuring life continues. Question 13. A practice question describes the rights associated with minerals and resources below the land surface. Which response is best? Option A, condominium ownership. Option B, a subsurface rights. Option C, joint tenancy. Option D, lot and block system. The correct answer is option B, subsurface rights. Title review should identify severed mineral rights and access provisions. A surface owner may not own every mineral interest affecting the parcel. These interests can be separated from surface ownership by sale, lease, or reservation. Question 14. During a settlement preparation, which principle is illustrated by a development arrangement combining individually owned property with shared facilities or common areas? Option A, bundle of rights. Option B, section. Option C, planned unit development. Option D, severalty ownership. The correct answer is option C, planned unit development. Owners usually hold title to their lots or units and share responsibilities through an association. Recorded declarations and rules control common expenses and use restrictions. The design may mix housing types and uses under an approved development plan. Question 15. Which answer states the concept associated with a use permitted in a zoning district only after specified standards and approval requirements are met? Option A, taking. Option B, easement appurtenant. Option C, a zoning ordinance. Option D, conditional use. The correct answer is option D, conditional use. The reviewing authority may impose reasonable conditions connected to land-use impacts. The zoning law identifies the use as potentially acceptable under controlled conditions. This differs from an illegal use that has no authorization in the district. Question 16. A property manager handling a mixed-use property in Towson must identify personal permission to enter or use land that does not create an ownership interest. Which choice is correct? Option A, license. Option B, lease pendens. Option C, escheat. Option D, a variance. The correct answer is option A, license. The permission is generally revocable and does not run with the land. Unlike an easement, this privilege usually cannot be transferred as a permanent property right. Tickets and temporary access permissions are common examples. Question 17. During a marketing review for a subdivision lot in Gaithersburg, Zane needs to identify the rule described as a lawful existing use that remains after a zoning change makes that use inconsistent with current rules. Which answer applies? Option A, a conditional use. Option B, non-conforming use. Option C, license. Option D, special assessment. The correct answer is option B, non-conforming use. A new owner generally takes the property subject to the same restrictions. The use is often allowed to continue because it was legal when established. Expansion, abandonment, or destruction may affect whether the protection continues. Question 18. A salesperson is reviewing a small apartment building in Bowie. Which term describes a future interest retained by the grantor after conveying a lesser estate? Option A, government survey system. Option B, literal rights. Option C, reversion interest. Option D, estate for years. The correct answer is option C, reversion interest. No new deed is required for the interest to return according to the original conveyance. This differs from a remainder, which is created in someone other than the grantor. The grantor keeps the right to regain possession when the temporary estate ends. Stressed about your real estate? We can take real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 19. At a lease negotiation, a Michigan exam candidate encounters the following description: a local law dividing land into districts and regulating permitted uses and development standards. Which concept is being tested? Option A, taking. Option B, subdivision regulation. Option C, general lien. Option D, a zoning ordinance. The correct answer is option D, zoning ordinance. Private deed restrictions can impose additional limits beyond zoning. A property owner must comply unless a lawful exception or relief applies. The regulation may control use, height, setbacks, density, and similar development features. Question 20. Quinton is assisting with a condominium unit transaction in Marquette. Which principle applies when the facts involve co-minus ownership in which each owner has an undivided interest without a required right of survivorship? Option A, a tenancy in common. Option B, personal property. Option C, cooperative ownership. Option D, lot and block system. The correct answer is option A, tenancy in common. Co-minus owners may hold unequal shares while each retains the right to possess the whole property. An owner may transfer that individual share without the consent of the other owners, subject to existing agreements. At death, the interest passes through the owner's estate rather than automatically to the other co-minus owners. Question 21. Which answer most accurately identifies a land description method based on principal meridians, baselines, townships, ranges, and sections in a real estate transaction? Option A, bundle of rights. Option B, government survey system. Option C, a trade fixture. Option D, real property. The correct answer is option B, government survey system. A standard township contains 30-6 sections, although irregularities can occur. The system divides land into a grid of townships and sections. Descriptions identify increasingly smaller portions of a section. Question 22. A question arising during due diligence meeting concerns an access right implied when a parcel would otherwise be landlocked after division of commonly owned land. Which choice gives the best classification? Option A, special assessment. Option B, easement appurtenant. Option C, easement by necessity. Option D, mechanic's lien. The correct answer is option C, easement by necessity. The need usually must exist at the time the common ownership is severed. Mere convenience is normally insufficient. The right lasts only while the qualifying necessity continues. Question 23. While analyzing a warehouse, Jonah must apply the concept involving land together with permanently attached improvements and associated legal rights. Which answer should be selected? Option A, bundle of rights. Option B, lot and block system. Option C, air rights. Option D, real property. The correct answer is option D, real property. Movable belongings are classified separately unless they become fixtures. Land and items permanently attached to it are treated as immovable property. The ownership interest also includes legally recognized rights such as possession, control, exclusion, enjoyment, and disposition. Question 24. Which real estate term is defined by a charge imposed on property receiving a particular public improvement benefit? Option A, special assessment. Option B, taxation. Option C, the specific lien. Option D, easement in gross. The correct answer is option A, special assessment. It differs from a general property tax used for broad governmental expenses. The charge may become a lien against the benefited parcel. The assessment may pay for sidewalks, sewers, streets, or similar local projects. Question 25. In a transaction involving a vacant parcel, which rule controls when there is a 6-mile-square survey unit containing 30-6 sections under the rectangular survey system? Option A, literal rights. Option B, township. Option C, life estate. Option D, estate for years. The correct answer is option B, township. Section numbers within the grid follow a standard back minus and minus fourth pattern. A regular the survey grid unit covers 30-6 square miles before adjustments for irregularities. The survey grid units are located by their positions north or south of a baseline and east or west of a principal meridian.